This net serves for training and practice in image transmission modes and meets Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. on the N6NA repeater at 441.30 megahertz. River City ARCS members and all licensed radio amateurs are welcome to participate. If you wish to join the net or need to make a call at any time, please announce your call sign between transmissions and net control will acknowledge you. If an emergency should arise and you need the repeater, please contact the net control by saying, "Break, break." A double break signifies emergency traffic. The net will stand by for you until the emergency is terminated or the traffic is moved to another frequency. Stations who wish to check in are asked to respond with their full call sign using the recognized ITU phonetic alphabet and their name. I will recognize each station before continuing. Any station who wishes to check into the net, please come now.
November 6, Papa Golf, Quebec, Bob in Northmost Roseville.
November 6 Yankee Golf, George and Lincoln.
November 6 Hotel Alpha, Bill in Roseville.
Kilo Papa 4 Mike Delta Carol, Citrus Heights.
Alpha India 6 Delta Golf, Joel in Florence.
Anybody else? One more call. Okay, we got a pretty decent crew tonight, 6 of us including me. So I'll go in this order. We'll go Bob, George, Bill, N6HA, Carol, Joel, and then I'll go last. So here we go. Let's see if Bob, N6PGQ, is ready to send.
I am. Let me check and make sure I have tone.
Affirmative on the tone.
Hey, thank you. This is Bob N6PGQ, PD 120.
success. Hey, before I go on, Carol already did a welcome, but I want to welcome over the air Airy AK6HY watching us on YouTube. I hope you enjoy the show. We sure enjoy doing it. Okay, let's for commentary, I'm just going to go down the list. Let's go to George, N6YG, out in Lincoln, first for a comment.
I wasn't watching it come down, so hold on. Turn my monitor down. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm looking at. I was actually trying to get my picture ready, so I'm going to go ahead and let you pass it to the next person in line, N6YG.
That's fine. Okay, George, we'll move to Bill, N6HA, with your commentary. Go ahead, Bill.
Looks like a cross-section of some sort of engine. I see in the background there's some older-timey looking wheels, and there's a cart on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, I can see the body of an older vehicle. So I'm going to say this is something classic, extremely classic. I'm not a big engine guy, so I can't point anything specific out. But that's pretty cool that they cut it in half for you to see the inner workings. So I don't know if it's an engine, what it goes in, and where you were to take this. It looks like maybe a museum. So yeah, I want to know more. N6HA, back to that.
That's a pretty good summary. Let's see what Carol thinks. Go ahead, Carol, KP4MD.
Yeah, okay, this is KP4MD. Well, I could say definitely it's not an antenna rotor. Although I see a bunch of gears, I guess that, I don't know if that's on a crankshaft or if that's some kind of a transmission or something there with all those gears on the left side. And in the upper left-hand corner, I see one of those, what do you call trailers, the little two-wheel trailer that you pull behind a car or a truck or something. Just a part of it there. You just see one tire of it. But all I could say is if there are any pixel pops, I only noticed a few up in the upper right hand, like in the upper part of the picture, but it's an extremely clear picture with, and it's pretty clear, pretty sharp, and it looks like a very clean, whatever that is. If that's out of a car, usually those things are covered with grease and really filthy, but this looks like brand spanking new almost. So back to you, KP4MD.
Thank you, Carol. Before I give it back to Bob, real quick, I'm going to say, yeah, it is a clear picture, but I'm going to bet, I know it's got something to do with the auto museum that he's been telling us about, and this looks like a cutaway of an engine, like for teaching purposes. So anyway, let's hear about it, Bob.
Well, you're absolutely right. It's a cutaway engine for teaching purposes. And it was originally in a high school auto shop in San Francisco. And my brother acquired it, and it's now in the California Auto Museum. And he painted all the sections of it so that, red is exhaust and orange is intake, and all the kinds of things. The carburetor's cut apart. The transmission, which Carol mentioned at the left, is cut apart. And this is out of about a 1936 Ford. So it stayed inside its entire life. And I believe it was from one of the San Francisco expositions, and then it got to the high school. So I can find out more exact information. But this is in the California Auto Museum, which this year is featuring the 60th anniversary of Mustangs, N6PGQ.
Thank you, Bob. I guess like a real hotshot engine guy would have known what model it came from, but that's not me. Anyway, let's see if George is ready to go, or if you'd like me to move you down the order, George. How about it?
No, I'm ready. N6YG.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, this will be PD 120.
Alrighty then, I got that one pretty good. Let's go to Joel and see what Joel has to say about it. I'm at a loss as to what to do when I just get this carrier sound. AI6DG.
Joel, you don't have any modulation.
Oh, it would help if I unmuted the mic. Sorry about that. Yeah, I need to mute it while I'm receiving, otherwise I hear the pictures hear the room. I just got to remember to unmute it when I want to talk, or get a quieter room. So those are Glenn Martin style little mini towers. Those are probably 6 feet tall. Glenn Martin stopped making those for some reason, maybe because it just didn't have enough demand for them. Pretty simple product, just angle aluminum cut in and sheet aluminum cut in the right shapes and lengths. The two of them, one center foreground and one a little to the right and behind. A couple of bushes around them with maybe that's a telephone pole to the right. Good product. I like the one I have, although I did have to extend the downslope legs of them since they're on the slope part of the roof, not the peak, and not a flat roof. Back to net, AI6DG.
All right, thank you, Joel. Let's go back to the top to Bob for comments on this picture.
Yeah, really good quality. There's like two pixel pops in the N6YG section, and two in the right, and a couple right in the tree and left of the tree. Other than that, it's an absolutely clear picture. Couple of Glenn Martins, like everybody said, almost looks like it's in the back of George's house in 6PGQ.
I was going to say, I bet you it's part of George's stash. George, N6YG, you want to tell us about your photo?
It is now. Yeah, that's just inside my driveway gate next to our private telephone pole that I'm not allowed to hang anything on. I thought that belonged to us. Apparently it still belongs to PG&E. I had a bug zapper hooked up to it and hanging from it about 6 feet up. Worked real good over there. PG&E came over and told me I had to take it down. Oh well, it's on my property. Yeah, these are well, they're Glenn Martin, but they're actually Carlson roof towers, I think is what they're called. They bought Glenn Martin stuff and make them. So these are relatively new, and I just picked these up. One of them was given to me, and then I bought the second one from him. He had a couple of them, so I bought the second one. And I never see these come up. In all the years I've been in ham radio, I can't even remember maybe once or twice seeing these come up on the second-hand market. Nobody ever sells them. Yeah, they're just angle iron. You know, once you get the measurements down and cut them, that's, you know, it should be fairly easy. I don't know why they're as expensive as they are. They're like $1,100 each if you order them plus shipping. So you know, how much is shipping on something like this? So yeah, I wish I would have had one of these for the Girl Scout event. That's why I actually got them. One of them I'm going to hold on to for another event like that, since they've asked me if I would. And the other one I'm going to use, so for my satellite stuff. Back to net. Oh, and they're painted green. The guy I got these from didn't even know what they were. He was using them to hold flags up. That was it. He was using them as flagpoles.
All right, George. Thank you for that. This is Bill, K6KRQ. Do we happen to have anybody else that wants to check into our net? Okay, nothing heard on YouTube. I see, I want to say welcome to Craig. Hope he's okay with the hurricane warning. Stuart is on YouTube. I don't know why he's not with us on the radio. So, but hopefully he enjoys the show. Hey, before we go on, I've got to ask about that FRAM2 SSTV event. I don't see any record of a launch, but that was supposed to start today. Does anybody have any news on that? This is Bill, K6KRQ.
N6AJ.
Go ahead, Bill.
It hasn't launched yet. The event is actually through the ISS. They're simulating what it would be like to pick up the FRAM to ham by only broadcasting with 5 watts on the same frequency, just to get your equipment, you know, see if you have what it takes. So yeah, no launch yet. They haven't started the polar experiment quite yet, but so if you do want to participate, you should be following the ISS passes and trying to decode on that 70 centimeter frequency for FRAM to ham, is what I understand. N6AJ.
Okay, that kind of clears it up. Because it wasn't real clear to me whether they were doing it or, and it talked about simulation. So, all right, I got it dialed into my radio. I'll just make sure it's running while, I don't know how good I'm going to do with just the vertical, but that looks like a real directional thing. But anyway, we'll see. All right, now that we did that, let's move on to Bill, N6HA. Are you ready for us, Bill?
Let me test my tone real quick.
Good tone. Thanks for that. We're going to go by the list to N6YG. George, what do you have to say about this photo?
Well, quite a few pixel pops on that one. It looks like an Easter bunny with snow cone ears. Not sure what the nose is, and there's a little child there, got his hands by the nose. Someone's building an Easter bunny, it looks like. N6YG.
Carol, KP4MD, what are your observations?
Okay, yeah, that picture came in mostly good. And the black parts, you know, what they call the letter boxing on the left and the right side, you can see the pixel pops there. But yeah, it's a youngster looking at a snow. It looks like a snow bunny with pine cones for ears, and he's reaching out to touch the face of the bunny. That's what it looks like. And a couple of sticks out the side, which I guess are supposed to be the arms. I wonder where this was done. Back over to you, it's KP from D.
Thank you, Carol. I got the picture real good too. I'm kind of wondering if Bill just happened to be transmitting it at a big wave of interference from Beale, but because it's got more pops than the other photos. Anyway, let's have Bill tell us about it. Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, thank you. It did start raining here, so I wonder if the SWR is swinging on my my antenna. But yeah, good guesses. This is in the snow. That's my daughter there, standing next to a snow bunny that someone created. It happened to be there, and we decided to go up in the snow and see how the new car is doing. We ended up buying a used Ford Expedition that was four-wheel drive, so we thought we'd spend some time, go up the hill, and see some snow. Originally, we stopped at a snow park that's up the 80, but it was more of a slush park, I guess. It was near Nanac, I think, near Emigrant Gap. So we decided to go a little further up the 80 to find some real snow, and we found this area. It was a nice little stop. Very good powder still, not too sleek. Some of it was compressed, but yeah, my daughter had a lot of fun playing in the snow and interacting with this bunny. So whoever made it, we enjoyed taking pictures of her playing with it. Yeah, back to the N6HA.
Your daughter looks so tiny there. All right, anyway, thanks for that, Bill. Next, Carol, KP4MD, do you have a picture for us?
Yes, I do, and this picture's going out PD 120 now.
that's a pretty interesting picture. I got an idea, but we're going to go to Joel first. It's his turn to tell us what he thinks of this picture. Go ahead, Joel.
There, I remembered to unmute myself before I started talking. Okay, so we've got a computer screen on the upper right with a keyboard below it, and to the left on the table surface that the monitor's sitting on, we've got a well-lit electrical device. I would guess it's the QRP transceiver that she's been working on that looks really interesting. I'm tempted to get one of those, but do I need another QRP kit to build? Not to mention the pain of winding all those toroids. But it's got a microscope and light pointed down looking at it, and on the screen we're looking at a very well magnified toroid with a million turns around it, a couple of surface mount resistors and caps, a through hole, well, probably a cap next to those, and probably a surface mount toroid above those two on the surface of the board. And nice setup, probably makes working on things like this a lot easier, having the microscope on a big screen like that. Back to net, AI6DG.
That's a good summary. How about Bob, N6PGQ? Do you have any thoughts on this photo?
Well, I can't add much more to it. We're starting to get more pixel pops as we go on. I don't know if the band's changing or whatever it is. Veal Air Force Base is getting into us, paved pause. But it's really interesting to see the microscope in operation, so I'm going to be interested to see if this is a new acquisition or Carol uses this regularly, N6PGQ.
Thank you, Bob. I kind of concur on the wave of pixel pops approaching. Carol, I'm kind of interested mostly in the microscope, but please tell us about your picture.
Okay, thank you very much. This is KP4MD, and Auri there on chat also guessed it was the microscope on a circuit. I took these pictures yesterday. I was over visiting Gert and Hank. It's KK6ZGA and K6HUH. They live only like about maybe a mile away from me here, really close. And they just finished building their QRP Labs QMX Plus transceiver. That's the new one that's 12 bands, 5-watt CW and digital. And this is their microscope. You know, when I built mine, I used a jeweler's loop and magnifying one of those helping hands with the built-in lit magnifier. Nothing as fancy as this. But if I had this, my gosh, it would have been an absolute dream to put that together, you know, especially counting the turns on the toroids and all that sort of thing. Yeah, they got that from Amazon, and it's a pretty nifty little microscope there. Of course, it has zoom on it. It comes with this 10-inch monitor, which is actually turned off in the picture. You could see in the upper left-hand corner, that's the 10-inch monitor that's up there that the microscope is mounted to. But they've connected it through an HDMI cable to their regular big monitor, and it just makes things so clear on with those tiny things. And you could really zoom in and check for all of the possible solder bridges. You know, this if I'm thinking of maybe getting a setup like this as well, because I'm doing a little bit more building, especially with the surface mount. It works really well. And we're thinking maybe Phil could use this KD6 RM for some of his upcoming seminars that he's going to be giving, where he's talking about like the nano VNA and that sort of thing with working with the filter circuits. So Phil doesn't have one of these, and I'm sure that I know he loves to do this kind of work, and he's been having trouble with his vision, and this would be an absolute uh, tremendous resource to have. So the cost of this microscope was something in the range of about $200. And I think if you want to get one like this, you might want to do it soon before the tariffs go on and jack it up another 25%. KP for MG.
Comment.
Go ahead, George.
Yeah, I don't know how anybody does surface mount work without one of these. It's absolutely indispensable. There's a good YouTube video. If you're really interested in buying one of these, I suggest you watch it, because a lot of the Chinese versions are exactly the same. They're all using the same innards, just a different case and different name, and the prices can vary from, you know, like $30 up to $150 for some of them. So you got to do a little bit of research and make sure that you get a good one, because some of the cheaper ones really aren't very good. So the $150 to $200 ones are absolutely amazing. So yeah, I just wanted to add that. I don't know how anybody nowadays. Oh, my eyes are bad anyway. So and it's that it really helps with the dynamic range. That's the one thing I didn't expect as I got older, was the reduction in dynamic range. The ability to see see shadows in the presence of real bright light. And so with solder, when you're soldering, you get that light reflecting off the bright solder joints in it, and it makes it real difficult to see sometimes what you're doing. And when you're using the microscope, it completely eliminates that. So I got a shift on my image, and I'm wondering if anybody else got that near the top of the image. Just right about halfway through the toroid, I got a slight shift in the image. I don't know if that was on my end or if that was on the transmit end.
I do not see it, and I don't see it on YouTube. Did anybody else?
There's a slant on your photo, George, but not on Carol's. So I'm not sure. N6AJ.
Yeah, I was transferring an image via Bluetooth to my computer, and I'll bet that's what did it. All right, thanks.
Thanks for that, George. That's good insight. And that microscope is hot stuff. And it looks like they met and conquered the toroid winding challenge. So good for them. Hey, Carol, did they fire it up? Does it work?
Oh yeah. That's the reason they called me to come over. They wanted me to check it out. They said it wasn't receiving, and they hadn't done it. They hadn't gone into the setup and set it up for the correct model with 160 meters to 6 meters. As soon as we did that, wow, the receiver really came to life. It's a really, really hot receiver, and transmits just like it's supposed to. So they did a really, really bang-up job there. Over.
All right, that's good. Good. It was just a setup thing. All right, very good. All right. Anyway, thanks for sharing that with us. That's kind of neat. I think I'd kind of like to have one of those. Let's see if Joel, AI6DG, has a photo for us.
Earth, tell me if I have tone.
We have tone.
PD 120.
All right, thank you, Joel. I'm going to go to the top to Bob, N6PGQ, for thoughts on this photo.
Well, the photo had quite a few pixel pops. You could hear them. And we've got 8 modules with different toroids on them. You can see that there's different number of windings on them, so assume that is a different band for the device. You can see a similar printed circuit board right under the BNC connector. There's a display screen that appears to say 50,000 or something to that effect. It's obviously a transceiver because the connectors at the bottom were labeled key and mic and speaker. So I'm interested to know what kit this is, N6PGQ.
Next on the comment list is George, N6YG. What do you say, George?
You know, I can't really add much more to it than Bob did. An awful lot of pixel pops as far as quality goes, and I didn't get a split this time receiving it, and I was uploading another picture, so that was interesting. Back to net, N6YG.
Thank you, George. Yeah, I got hit bad with pixel pops here, but anyway, this looks like another one of those kits I'd be interested in building. Maybe a little bit more easier for somebody that hasn't built that many. But Joel, tell us about it, please.
Oops, got to unmute. RF bit banger, that's what this is. Who did that? They did there. Doing a quick search. Open Research Institute, RF bit banger project. And it's got its own little digital mode called Scamp. That's the keyboard type to keyboard interactive, where each side can actually just type. Unlike FT8, it's more like what is it, JT call for PSK 31. But it also does sideband and CW, and so it's kind of a generalized transceiver. And yeah, lots of little boards. Those are the filters for each band. It doesn't. I guess they're saving costs, and they're also trying to make it a simple kit that's built from easy to find parts. So it doesn't have a whole bunch of relays on board switching between bandpass filter parts. I've had this sitting on my desk for a couple of months, and I finally decided I wanted my desk back. And this past weekend, spent a good part of the weekend walking back and forth between the two rooms, one where the soldering iron is and one where all the parts were sitting. Because I decided I wanted to do the same part on each one of those boards at the same time. So I'd grab the surface mount part, pull it off of the ribbon, put the filter in the little surface mount part in my palm, and very carefully walk to the other room and solder it on, and then walk on and go to the next band pass filter board and do the same thing, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then did I'd already wound the toroid, so then I had to do the same thing with the toroid. Strip the enamel off, walk over, solder it on. You know, I haven't. Now that I've got it built, I need to test it, so I need to find some coax and extend the antenna from the other room into this room and plug it in and get the headphones and start playing around with it. I've printed out the manual and reading the manual. That's the first step always. Yes, I'm one of those. I read the manual. Back to net, AI6BG.
Thanks for that, Joel. What's the name of that kit?
RF Bit Banger. RF BIT BANGER.
All right, very good. Thanks for that. All right, looks like it's my turn in the rotation. Hey, I don't really know about doing this tone thing. Tell me if I have a tone.
Yes, tone.
All right, thanks for that. All right, here we go, transmitting. Alrighty then, there it is. Bill, N6HA, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, good photo. Very few pixel pops. A little blurry on my side. I haven't looked at YouTube yet. But yeah, the overall good photo. I see a couple of donkeys just waltzing through the area. That's a little odd sight to see, but this looks like one of those one-town kind of roads. Some mountain ranges in the back, and some kind of building there. Can't figure out what that is. Doesn't quite look like California. It looks kind of deserty, so I'm going to say maybe this is like Nevada, maybe the border of Nevada and California. But yeah, it's funny to see. At least I see two donkeys. I wonder if there's a third. I see a third head pointing through. Was there more? And why? Where are they going? Are these wild? I need to know more. N6HA.
All right, thanks for that. You're on the right track. Carol, KP4MD, what do you think? Did we lose Carol? Maybe she stepped away. Joel, AI6DG, how about taking a turn? Tell me what you think.
Somewhere in the Great Basin, so that could be California, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, so forth. But definitely a desert-ish. I'm thinking burro, not donkey. And there's lots of wild burros out in some parts of the of those states. I guess the miners either let them go or they got away from the miners. But burros, I think, were the preferred pack animal for miners, not donkeys. I'm not sure why, or for that matter, what the difference is between a donkey and a burro. Weird hybridizations and combinations and sterile, so forth. I think the burros were more robust and stronger and well, lived better, lasted longer. Back to net. GG.
Thanks for that, Joel. Any other comments, or did we get Carol back? Okay, anyway, well, both of you, Bill, you were pretty much getting there. Joel kind of drilled into it even more. I took this from my car with the phone, I think. I think it was the last time I went down to Las Vegas right before my mother passed away. That's Beatty, Nevada. When you drive through Nevada, you'll oftentimes see the wild burros. I've seen them there walking in the street. I've seen them up around Goldfield, all in different spots. So it's not uncommon to see them. What are neat are these black and white ones as opposed to the gray ones. The black and white ones look pretty neat, but there were a couple more to the right. Yeah, I think they are descendants of during the days of 49, as it were, where they just got loose from either the prospectors or from the mule teams, like the 20 mule teams and stuff. So anyway, that's that. Let me see, it's getting close to the hour. Let's see if is Carol still with us? Okay, it's kind of close to the top of the hour. If somebody else has unless somebody else has another picture they'd like to send. Usually when George is with us, he sends a finale. But any more pictures, or will George send us a finale?
I actually have one last picture to send. It's not a finale, but N6YG.
I thought so. Go ahead, George. Man, that was coming crystal clear until that identifier drove a stake through it. Let's see if Carol's back and has commentary on this one.
Yeah, this is KP4MD. Yeah, sorry, I was on the phone a moment with Gert and Hank about that microscope. Wonka's golden ticket. Greetings to you, lucky finder of this golden ticket, confirming QSO with W0NKA. Oh, that's funny. So his call sign is W0NKA, and that's very cute. Yeah, it looks like a really perfect picture, except for the repeater ID stripe there down towards the bottom of it. But nice and clear. Maybe about four or five pixel pops here and there, but that's good. And that was with KF8AKO. Back to nets, KP from G.
Thanks, Carol. Hey, Bob, N6PGQ, any final thoughts on this one?
Yeah, somebody has a great call sign. They were probably one of the first ones to think of that. Anyway, yeah, it came through real well. There's like 3 pixel pops in the whole image. Really nice transmission. N6PGQ.
Alrighty then, thanks, Bob. Okay, George, any a description, any final words?
No, I just ran across this and had a good chuckle over it. I wish I would have thought of it. A great call sign. Great QSL card. I hope to hear them. I want one of these. N6YG.
All right, thanks, George. Hey, I just want to say, before I sign us off, to recognize Stan and Dennis had joined us on YouTube also. So welcome to them, and we hope you come back. Anyway, is there any more comments or questions before I sign off? All right then. Thanks to all who participated in tonight's SSTV Net. We hope to see you again next Wednesday at 9 p.m. The net is officially closed at 9:59 p.m. This is Bill, K6KRQ, wishing all of you a good evening. And thanks again for another good time. I really appreciate it, and I really look forward to this. So, again, 73, and have a good evening. K6KRQ.
Thanks for running the net for us, N6YG.